West Ham United won, Bournemouth won. What a frustrating game after waiting several weeks for football to come back home to the London Stadium. We kind of served up with that pretty poor spectacle, really. First half was atrocious. The way it started, I've lost count. I'm going to have to do a bit of digging as to how many goals we've given away through our bad passing. And this time, our new man, Calvin Phillips, was culpable. Where a poor back pass was intercepted, and Bournemouth went one up within the first 3 minutes of the game, give or take. And it didn't get much better after that in the first half. Bournemouth could just sit back, absorb any pressure that we were trying to apply. Mind you, we didn't apply much pressure at all, to be quite honest with you. We were absolutely atrocious in the first half, but then that didn't help by the way we were set up. David Moyes is trying to find a solution for the left side of our attacking play, and he decided tonight that James Ward-Prowse was the answer, which clearly wasn't, because he was lost out there. We didn't know what we were doing. Every time we got the ball and looking for an outlet, looking to maybe go out to the left, there was absolutely nobody there, and it's absolutely no surprise why we haven't bought a left-sided player that we knew. If there was anything that we needed in this January window, it was to go out and get ourselves a left-sided attacking player. Now, I've been sent a photo that it looks like Pablo Fornals was in the stadium. Now, I don't know what's going to happen. There's still some time to go for the January window to shut. It's 9:30 now, so there's still an hour and a half. I understand that Fornals was meant to have had a medical for Real Betis here in London, but whether that means he's still going to Betis or not is anyone's guess. So at this moment in time, Fornals was at the stadium watching the game. Clearly he wasn't selected because it looked like the deal was on, but something is amiss there. Who knows? Maybe it was just, because he took his medical, that, it wasn't time out to fly to Spain or whatever. I don't know. Cornet obviously is staying as well because he was on the subs bench and he was brought on with the last few minutes of the game. So it looks like it's only Benrahma that's gone, and it's possible that Fornals is still a West Ham player. We don't know. I can't say for sure. I'm sure you'll find out by the time this video goes out. But Fornals was at the stadium. I've seen the photo and he was at the stadium. But anyway, he couldn't have been selected given the fact that he was likely to be going to Betis. But our setup, our lineup, Moyes could have done a number of different things. Moyes could have gone for maybe, say, 3 at the back and played Johnson and Emerson as wing backs. That would have at least given us a little bit of it would have made the balance of the team an awful lot better. He could have gone with Alvarez at the back. All right, I don't necessarily want Alvarez to play as centre back, but with the options that Moyes had, he could have done that. He could have played different ways. People keep saying about Moyes, some of the things that really frustrate them is that Souček can never be dropped, and it seems obvious that he can never be dropped. And that just makes it difficult for us, for David Moyes, to decide what sort of lineup he wants. Because when you have to pick Souček, or when Moyes has to pick Souček, it means that the team is going to be imbalanced. Okay, could have started out on the right as we'd expect. Bowen started out in the centre as we'd expect. Calvin Phillips got his debut for West Ham in the middle alongside Alvarez, which we kind of again hoped for and expected. The back line with Johnson coming in for the suspended Soufal, Mavropanos and Zuma and Emerson at the back and Areola in goal, all we expected. But there was a glaring hole, and we all know what it is, out on the left-hand side of attack, which we cannot seem to get right. And why Moyes thought that Ward-Prowse was the answer in the first half is beyond me. It's ridiculous, absolutely ridiculous. Teams, Areola, he's starting to learn from Fabianski, when you get the ball, slow things down. Why? On several occasions he got the ball, he could have played it out quick. He didn't. Normally Areola has been quite renowned for his decent distribution and quick distribution. That seems to have left his game. Johnson, who we've praised, playing in the centre of the park against Sheffield United when he came on as a sub, didn't look great on the right. You know, every time Johnson plays in the position that's meant to be natural for him, he fails to deliver. You put him out on the left, and I bet he would have had a decent game. Dinos Mavropanos, okay, he's good, some good interceptions, etc. But boy, oh boy, his passing is abysmal, absolutely terrible. And every time Mavropanos seems to get the ball and wants to play it, he plays it in the middle of the park, right into danger, rather than playing it out wide. Zuma, you wonder how Zuma gets through a game, because he just can't seem to bend his legs. Emerson was quite subdued, but then that was down to the way Bournemouth were playing the game. You know, didn't give him an opportunity to go forward. Ward-Prowse and Souček in the middle of the park didn't deliver much today. They're both not playing well at this moment in time. Kudus back from the AFCON, again a little bit subdued, but he brought off some decent moments throughout the game. And Bowen, as ever, is Jared Bowen. You know what you're going to get from him, and he tries to never let you down. Anyway, going into at the end of the first half, we were poor. It was desperately poor, and we thought, well, Moyes is going to change it up in the second half. But Moyes, being David Moyes, didn't change it. You know what I'm like. You know, I've said I support Moyes, but you know, he's not beyond criticism. It's not that I'm saying that David Moyes is great at everything. He's not beyond criticism, and he didn't change it up in the second half. The only thing that he did was he seemed to put Ward-Prowse more in the middle, and then we couldn't really work out who was out on the left-hand side. It looked for a moment that it might have been Calvin Phillips, but we couldn't really tell who was really playing on the left. Anyway, one substitution made when he brought Calvin Phillips off and put Ings on. That meant a change in formation. That meant Ings went in the middle, Bowen went out on the left-hand side, could have stayed on the right. At least we were a little bit more balanced there, you know, going into the second half itself. At least we looked a little bit more balanced, but and we looked better for it. And then the crowd started to get behind the team. You know, we started to ping the ball around. It took, you know, another 10 minutes into the second half. We didn't really start getting going in the second half until the 55th minute, but the crowd started getting behind the team. The players started to respond, and then we got, you know, because of Kudus and his run, we got a penalty. But let's be honest, the referee didn't give it. The referee was poor tonight. You know, Bournemouth played him as most teams. Refereeing in the Premier League is absolutely abysmal, because the referee gave them everything, and he didn't give us that penalty, and he had to be called into VAR to watch the VAR screen, and he finally gave it. But we all laughing, saying even if he watches it on the screen, he's not likely to give it. But anyway, he gave it. We got the goal back. We got a decent penalty from Ward-Prowse. And we were back in the game, and I thought, okay, there's only really going to be one team now that's going to take this game by the scruff of the neck. But unfortunately, that didn't materialise. We got better throughout the game, and we were better because we had a better balance by having someone out on the left-hand side. Kudus and Bowen switch flanks for a while, and then you saw Cornet warming up, and then going back on the bench, and then coming out to warm up and back on the bench. And we thought, you know, at least what Moyes will do is he'll give Cornet maybe 10 minutes, 80th minute, you know, to come on the pitch, etc. Especially when we found out that there was an extra 8 minutes added on. So you could have ended up having around 18 minutes to do something, but no, as usual, David Moyes making his second substitution, didn't do it until the 94th minute. What do you expect Cornet to do in those 4 minutes? It must be as frustrating for him as it is for the fans. We set ourselves up wrong. You know, Moyes has got to learn from this. He's got to, you know, he's got to be brave, and he's got to drop. Look, he's got to drop Souček, but if he can't do that, then he's going to have to drop Ward-Prowse and give the team a bit more balance, rather than trying to shoehorn players in. I know Antonio's soon to come back, and Paqueta will come back and will be a little bit stronger in depth, etc. But look how we've suffered by our injuries. You know, unfortunately, we just can't rely on the squad staying fit, because we know they're not. We get another injury or two, and it's going to be, again, one of those things we're going to be shoehorning players in to the wrong positions. Look, There's an hour and a half left in the transfer window. Fornals may not have gone. And so I would understand then if we don't go out and get ourselves another player. But if Fornals is going, then we've got to spend the last hour of this transfer window getting someone in. And apparently we're interested in, or we've made inquiries about Marseille player Ismail Assar, who used to play for Watford. He's got pace, he plays out on the left. So maybe we just need something, because if he doesn't trust Cornet, then why did he keep him? Why did he keep Cornet and not let him go to Crystal Palace? But I guess you've got to keep the players if you're not replacing them. And what it looks like, I've just been sent a message. He was at the game, Fornals, but pulled from the bench. So I don't know. I don't know what that means. It like I said, he was apparently having his medical for Real Betis here in London. So it could be that he wasn't able to fly out to Spain to sort of sign the deal. But you can do that. You don't have to be there, do you? You can sort of sign a contract on this side of the river, on this side of the pond anyway. So there you have it. Really, really frustrating. The first half was pretty poor. David Moyes didn't change it up. He didn't. We got the penalty. We changed it with Ings coming on. We looked a little bit more balanced, having two wide players in their natural, being able to play out wide rather than having shoe-ins like Ward-Prowse out there. We looked better. We got better. But then Moyes, being Moyes, in order to go for the jugular, he could have brought Ward-Prowse. He could have brought Cornet on. Look, Cornet's not the best player in the world, but he might offer you something different. But give the boy a chance to sort of see what he can do. That's it. Speak again later. I'm sure I'll be back on Friday to analyse the wonderful transfer window that we've had, and maybe start analysing what it is we need to do for the second half of this season. Because a point against Bournemouth at home, it's 2 points dropped, to be quite honest with you. Started off poorly, got back in the game, didn't have enough to win it. We move on to the weekend, away to Man United. They won tonight, so let's see what happens there.